The steady hum of a downtown Atlanta afternoon filled the air. Cars honking, phones buzzing, and people rushing through glass doors of high-rise buildings. Inside the bright marble-floored Mid-South Bank, a sense of calm professionalism cloaked the place until Agent Maya Collins walked in. Dressed in a simple gray blazer and jeans, she looked like any other customer, tired from work, holding a small envelope with a check she'd received for a government reimbursement. To the teller behind the counter, however, Maya didn't look like a federal agent. She looked like a problem. The moment she slid the check across the counter, suspicion crept into the young teller's eyes. "I'm sorry, ma'am," she said stiffly. "I'll have to verify this." Within minutes, whispers spread among the staff. The manager emerged, security was called, and Maya, still calm, still polite, found herself surrounded by officers who barely looked her in the eye before shoving her hands behind her back. The crowd stared. Phones came out. The officers barked questions. Maya could have flashed her badge then and there, but she didn't. She wanted to see just how far they would go. No one in that lobby knew that the woman they were handcuffing was one of the FBI's top fraud investigators, the very person who trained agents to detect fake checks. By the time the truth came out, reputations would crumble, careers would end, and a city would learn what accountability really means. Maya Collins had faced war zones, cartels, and cyber criminals, but nothing compared to the quiet humiliation of being accused of a crime she didn't commit. As the officers pulled her toward the glass doors, she looked around the bank lobby, the same one where she'd cashed checks before without issue. Now, everyone watched her as though she were a thief. The irony wasn't lost on her. "Ma'am, we received a call about a counterfeit check," Officer Daniels said. Maya's voice was calm. "And you just assume I'm the suspect?" "Just following procedure," Daniels replied curtly. "Interesting," she said. "Do you run background checks before you put handcuffs on someone?" "Ma'am, I need you to remain silent until we verify your identity." Maya almost laughed. She had her badge in her purse, the same purse now being rummaged through by the teller and the branch manager, who seemed eager to find proof of guilt. The crowd murmured. A man in a suit whispered to his wife. I knew something was off about her when she walked in. Maya's jaw tightened. Every fiber of her wanted to speak up, to pull rank. But years of FBI training reminded her, sometimes silence is power. Reese clicked the cuffs. "You're under arrest for attempting to deposit a forged financial instrument." The words echoed like thunder. She was escorted outside, cameras rolling, her dignity stripped, but her mind was already working. They had no idea who they'd just arrested. At the downtown precinct, Maya sat calmly in the interrogation room, hands folded. Across from her, Officer Daniels leafed through papers, clearly unsure of himself. The check, a legitimate government-issued reimbursement, lay between them. "So," he began, "this check was flagged by the bank's system. Can you explain why your name doesn't appear in their local records?" Maya arched a brow. "Because I bank with a federal credit union. I only came here because the issuing agency has an account with Mid-South. That's not suspicious. That's logistics." Daniels hesitated. Reese leaned forward. "You're saying this is real?" She smirked. "Why don't you call the issuing agency and ask for Special Agent Collins in financial crimes?" Reese frowned. "Why would we do that?" "Because," she said slowly, Silence filled the room. Daniels looked up, confused. "Wait, you're saying you're FBI?" Maya nodded toward her purse on the table. "Check the badge pocket." Reese reluctantly opened it and froze. The gold shield glinted beneath the fluorescent lights. "FBI, Special Agent Maya Collins, Financial Crimes Division," he read aloud, his voice shaking. Daniels turned pale. "Oh no," Maya leaned back. "Oh yes." The door swung open. The precinct captain entered, his face stern. "What the hell is going on here?" Reese stammered. "Sir, we thought she was a suspect?" Maya finished. "You didn't verify, you didn't question, you profiled." The captain swallowed hard. "Agent Collins, I assure you this is a misunderstanding." Maya's tone sharpened. "A misunderstanding that went viral." Outside the station, social media had erupted. A bank while black trended within hours. The footage of her calm face as officers cuffed her spread like wildfire. What was supposed to be a routine arrest had become a public scandal. And Maya wasn't done yet. The next morning, the precinct's phones wouldn't stop ringing. Reporters swarmed the entrance. The bank's PR team scrambled to contain the damage. Maya sat across from the police chief and two city officials, expression unreadable. Chief Brooks sighed. Agent Collins, we deeply regret this. Officer Daniels and Officer Reese are both suspended pending review. The bank is issuing a public apology. Maya tilted her head. You think an apology fixes systemic negligence? Brooks shifted uncomfortably. We'll conduct sensitivity training. She cut him off. I don't want training. I want accountability. Her words hung in the air like a challenge. Later that day, she stood before cameras addressing the media. Her voice carried calm authority. I didn't come here today as an FBI agent, she began, but as a citizen. What happened to me happens to people who don't have badges to protect them. If my title hadn't come out, I would have spent the night in a cell for cashing my own check. Reporters nodded, pens flying. This isn't about one bank or two officers, she continued. It's about the assumptions that make people guilty until proven innocent. That's what needs to change. The bank's CEO resigned. The city announced reforms. Daniels and Reese issued tearful apologies on camera, but the internet had already crowned Maya a hero, not for her badge, but for her composure under fire. That night, Maya sat on her apartment balcony, watching the skyline. Her phone buzzed. A message from her supervisor. Proud of how you handled that. Change starts with courage. She smiled faintly, sipping her tea. Justice, for once, had turned in the right direction. Weeks later, life had begun to return to normal. The viral storm faded, but the lessons remained. The city hosted community workshops on bias and accountability, inspired by her speech. Maya was invited to lecture at universities and police academies, where she shared the story not as an agent, but as a human being who'd seen both sides of the badge. One evening, she walked into that same Mid-South Bank branch again, not to cash a check, but to meet with the new manager, a woman who greeted her respectfully. Agent Collins, she said softly, thank you for giving us another chance. Maya smiled. Everyone deserves a chance to do better. As she left the bank, sunlight streamed through the glass doors. Outside, a young girl watched her, eyes wide, full of admiration. Are you the lady from the video? The girl asked shyly. Maya chuckled. That's me, the girl grinned. You're awesome. Maya knelt slightly. Remember, sweetheart, never let anyone tell you who you are based on what they see. Let your actions speak for you. The girl nodded firmly. Maya straightened, adjusted her blazer, and walked down the street, the city alive around her, confident, composed, unbroken. She had turned humiliation into history and bias into awareness. Her story wasn't just about injustice. It was about the quiet, unshakable strength of knowing your worth, even when the world doubts it. That's a powerful message indeed. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe for more inspiring, dramatic tales like this. Stories that remind us that truth and courage always rise, no matter the odds. Indeed, this tale of Maya Collins' journey has taught us much about resilience, humility, and the power of standing tall in the face of adversity. It's always a pleasure to hear and share these kinds of stories, and I hope that you enjoyed this one as much as I did.